Hi everybody, welcome to Jin's Wall Street News. The U.S. Census Bureau announced Wednesday that advance estimates of U.S. retail and food services sales jumped 1.4% in March from the previous month. According to the Federal Reserve, industrial production decreased 0.3% in March from a month ago. On Wednesday, Dan Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, posted an X quote, "I believe this is just the digestion phase, much like those in the late 1990s, as the internet infrastructure continued to be built out." The US dollar index dropped to 99.18, then it rebounds to 99.59. For the US stocks, S&P 500 tumbled 2.24% and the Nasdaq composite plummeted 3.07%. The US Census Bureau announced Wednesday that advance estimates of U.S. retail and food services sales jumped 1.4% from $724.5 billion in February to $734.9 billion in March, up 4.6% from $702.5 billion in March last year. So let me do the math. The U.S. retail sales in February was at $724.5 billion and $734.9 billion in March. In January, the retail sales was at $722.9 billion. Therefore, we can get $2,182.3 billion for the first quarter this year, which grew 0.3% from the previous quarter, or rose at an annual rate of 1.2% quarter over quarter. So it seems like the US economy just experienced slowdown, not a recession. On Wednesday, Dan Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, posted an X quote, "Nvidia writing off $5.5 billion related to China restrictions is a warning flag. I also believe the upcoming hyperscaler calendar Q1 results in aggregate will be weak on slowing training demand. But the silver lining is this may accelerate the process of lowering expectations enough so they are achievable and the risk versus reward is once again compelling. I believe this is just a digestion phase, much like those in the late 1990s, as the internet infrastructure continued to be built out. But the build-out occurred over 5 to 6 years before the ultimate bust due to overbuild. We are just over 2 years into the AI build-out since the release of ChatGPT in the late 2022. The US dollar index dropped to 99.18 after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, quote, "The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated. And the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth." But fortunately, the US dollar index rebounds above 99.59, so we can expect US stocks to rise accordingly. For the US stocks, S&P 500 dropped 2.24%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 1.73%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq tumbled 3.07%. Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.